Hello, friends. Welcome to the Everyday English with Alex and Ava podcast, where we learn simple, slow, and clear English for everyday life. Let's kick things off by exploring a simple but vital question. What do we really mean when we talk about focus? Why does it matter so much, especially when learning English?
Focus means giving your full attention to one task. Picture a camera lens zooming in on a subject. That sharpness is what we want with our minds. When we focus, we cut out distractions and process information more deeply, making learning much more effective.
That makes sense. I've noticed that when I'm fully focused, studying feels smoother. But when my mind wanders, I barely remember what I read. Is focus a natural trait, or can it be developed over time?
Focus is definitely a skill you build, not just something you're born with. Think of athletes training their bodies. Our brains need practice too. Regular exercises, like short focus sessions, help strengthen your attention span gradually.
Let's dive a bit into the science. What's actually happening in our brains when we try to focus?
Great question. Our brains use networks like the prefrontal cortex to filter out distractions. It's similar to a traffic cop directing cars, deciding which information should pass through. Studies show that multitasking actually reduces productivity by up to 40%. Because our brains aren't designed to handle multiple complex tasks at once.
That's a huge decrease. So when we try to do too much, we're actually slowing ourselves down.
Exactly. Focusing on one thing at a time is like giving your brain a clear road to drive on instead of a crowded intersection full of detours.
Now, distractions are a big part of the focus puzzle. What are some typical distractions, and how can our listeners describe them in English?
Phones are the number one culprit. You can say, "My phone distracts me," or "I check my phone every few minutes." Background noise is another, so phrases like, "My house is too noisy," or "It's hard to focus with noise" are helpful.
And feeling tired is also a big one. I often say, "I feel sleepy" when I try to study, or "My brain feels slow today."
Those are perfect examples. The key is using simple, direct phrases to express your state, which also helps you notice what's pulling your focus away.
Let's transition to how losing focus can make us feel. What emotions come up when we can't concentrate, and how can we talk about them in English?
Frustration and guilt are common. You might say, "I feel frustrated when I lose focus," or "I'm disappointed in myself for getting distracted." But it's important to remember that everyone struggles with this, native speakers included.
That's reassuring to hear. Sometimes just naming the feeling, like saying, "I'm overwhelmed," or "I feel anxious when I can't focus," can help us deal with it better.
Absolutely. Labeling emotions in English not only clarifies your feelings for yourself, but it also builds your emotional vocabulary.
Let's now explore some practical methods for building focus. What are some routines or tools that really help?
One effective method is the Pomodoro technique. You set a timer for 25 minutes of work, then take a 5-minute break. This trains your brain to focus in short, strong bursts. You can say, "I use a timer to focus," or "I study in short blocks."
I also like making a short to-do list, just 2 or 3 tasks. Saying, "I made a plan," or "one step at a time," keeps things manageable and reduces overwhelm.
Exactly. Small routines lower the barrier to getting started and help you see progress, which motivates you to keep going.
Let's connect this to learning English specifically. How can these focus strategies make language practice more effective?
Using a timer or list for language tasks stops you from feeling lost. For example, practicing listening for 20 minutes, then switching to speaking. Saying, "I'm working on my focus," or "I need a plan," gives your practice structure, which leads to better results.
That's true. I found that when I focus on just one skill like reading or speaking, I remember more. Trying to do everything at once just leads to confusion.
Absolutely. Focused, intentional practice is the fastest path to real improvement.
Let's make this real with a short role play. Imagine you're struggling to focus on English. How would that conversation go?
Here's how it might sound. "I sat down to study, but my phone buzzed and I lost track." Then, your friend could suggest, "Maybe try turning off notifications or setting a timer."
Or even, take a short break to reset your mind. Practicing these dialogues helps listeners prepare for real situations in English.
Exactly. It's like rehearsing for life, so when you actually face a focus challenge, you already know what to say and do.
Now, let's practice some useful phrases related to focus. Could you share some, Ava?
Of course. Try repeating. I can't focus today. My phone distracts me. I need to take a break. I want to focus on English. Saying these aloud builds your confidence and makes the language stick.
I recommend writing these phrases in a notebook and reviewing them each day. It's like building muscle memory for your brain.
Exactly. Repetition is key, just like learning new words. Practicing these focus phrases makes them second nature.
As we approach the end, let's recap what we've learned about focus. What are the main takeaways our listeners should remember?
First, focus is a skill you develop, not something you're born with. Second, everyone gets distracted. Phones, noise, and tiredness are normal. Third, using routines like lists or timers really helps. And finally, it's okay to lose focus sometimes. Just gently bring your attention back.
That's so important, the idea of self-compassion. Instead of criticizing yourself, remember that focus is a journey, much like learning English itself.
Absolutely. Progress, not perfection, should be your goal.
Before we close, here's a mini challenge for everyone listening. Think of 3 things that make it hard for you to focus and 1 thing that helps you.
For example, I can't focus because I check my phone. I get tired. My room is noisy. But drinking water helps me. Saying your answers out loud in English boosts both your speaking and self-awareness.
Take a moment now, pause the podcast, reflect, and say your answers. This practice not only improves your English, but sets you up for more focused study sessions.
We're proud of every step you take. Small actions add up to big growth.
As we wrap up, let's talk about staying motivated when focus feels hard. How can listeners keep going even on tough days?
Remember, learning English and learning focus are both long-term journeys. Celebrate small wins, like finishing a study session or repeating phrases. Share your progress with a friend or teacher for extra encouragement.
And don't forget to return to this podcast whenever you need a boost. We're here to support you one focused, friendly conversation at a time.
Stay focused, stay kind to yourself, and keep practicing. Until next time. If you like this episode, don't forget to like the video, comment, and subscribe to the channel.